Alright, good morning friends. We are out here on a lovely morning down here at Womboyne Lake. Just before we go for our little fishing adventure, successful or not, I just wanted to show you around the kayak, how I've got it set up now, the Hobie Passport. This one's a 12. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure these ones are getting removed out of the line and going for a roto-molded version of these. But I just wanted to show you around what I've done to this one. What we're dealing with here is the base model, so you need to do all the modifications yourself, and I've got it to a point where I'm really happy with how it goes and it's really handy to use. I'll just show you around. Alright, so number one awesome thing, let's get in here, is this Burley Pro bumper bro, I think it's called, and that gets glued on there, and then because this is thermo molded, it's not very conducive to getting scraped around, so that really protects, and it's also a nice little handhold when I load and unload, so I'm really happy with that. Alrighty, so moving around, you can see I've got this little Railblaza paddle clip here, stock standard out of the box. I wasn't really happy with this, so I had to hit it with a heat gun and then tighten it up a bit, and then it grabbed the paddle really well, so I was happy with that. I like this little thing, this little cup holder, again from Railblaza. You'll notice underneath it here though, you'll notice underneath this little Railblaza setup here, I'm just using little AliExpress dodgy Railblaza ports. It was hard to justify the price of the Railblaza ones when it's not really something that's going to be a structural holding onto a rod or anything, so I just went with the cheapies. Moving this way. Also, these things are very handy in a kayak too, these little mini lip grips. When there's fish with spikes on them bashing around in between your legs, you'll be thankful that you have them. I usually just roll with one big Plano waterproof box, and I usually just put that in the bungees. I find it more than sufficient for my needs. Moving this way. In there's just my snacks, that's my snack bag, just dangling behind there. I usually have a cushion, but I have no idea where it is. Down here is another big hero. It's the Railblaza Sea Tug cart, and it's got the beach wheels, and I've got both versions, both sets of wheels, and this one is, it is by far the best. I've just got the standard fin. I don't find it to be a big deal at all using the standard fin. I guess if you had a sail rig on the front, you might want the other one. We've got our insulated catch bag here, very, very handy, and this one here comes from Audi. It was like $50 when I found it on special there. Also here, I added this little bit of gear track here, mainly to put on my boom pole, my Yakattack boom pole, just for filming, which I never remember to bring. Just in here, I've got my anchor, nothing special, just a folding grapnel type anchor in there. So this is where I've got my little fish finder set up here. You'll see just down a bit lower, I've got it on this ball mount from AliExpress. It was about $17. Again, I couldn't justify the expense of the ram mount ones. If you got a bunch of money, go nuts and get what you want. I did have it just going straight up and down into a Railblaza mount. The ergonomics weren't right for me. Alright, here's my go-to rod holder, guys. As you can see, it's a Railblaza, and it's also in a heavy-duty Railblaza mount there. This is a very handy install here. This is a mat pocket, and also with the fish finder, I've used the Hobie cable mounts. There's one there, and then under the seat, there's the other one down through to the transducer. Another thing to think about with the Hobies is if you're car topping, just under here, hopefully you can see that, that's where the transducer goes. If you get a fish finder with a big transducer, it doesn't fit in those. Burley Pro do make mounts to help you fit those to that, so it's another protective covering. So the Burley Pro ones make it an aftermarket unit with a bit of a bulge to fit the new transducer into it. If you're roof topping it and just sliding it over the racks, that was no good in my case, so I didn't go with that one, and I just went with a little tiny Garmin transducer, and it's just been great. Here's one more little nugget of excitement that I just want to tell you guys. Just to power this fish finder, I did have a FPV battery pack, and I didn't find it to be super amazing or great, believe it or not. Had one of these connectors on the FPV ones. I don't think they're meant for what they use them for, because the wires aren't tinned or anything, and it just got corrosion in there and it wasn't running the fish finder. So I ended up just buying this battery here. This one here is a watt cycle, 12.8 volt, 12 amp hour battery. It's a lithium one, and they're pretty cheap, and it's just sitting inside of a Hobie gear bucket, a deep one. Fits in there perfect, and I'm really happy with it. Just a little hole for either side to run the cable, and it is good to go. Yeah, guys, that's about it. So that's how I've got my Hobie Passport set up. I mostly use it for estuary fishing, and also have a boat and also another Hobie kayak, the Adventure Island, the sailing kayak. But I'm always using this one. It's a thermoformed plastic, and it's just really light and easy to get onto the racks, and I just use it all the time. Absolutely love it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully we get onto some fish on this episode. We'll see what happens. All right, bye guys.